In a reality not so different from our own, there dwells a town. Although corrupted by evil, it exists to represent much more than the horrors it holds within. In order to understand the deeper message waiting for us, we must first enter Silent Hill. Silent Hill 1 was released by Konami in February of 1999 for the PlayStation 1. Set in a fictitious town located in the United States, Silent Hill is a third-person survival horror game made with the intent to appeal to North American audiences. Although the concept of a third-person horror game was nothing new when it released, there was something extremely special about Silent Hill. Skipping ahead 20 years in the future to my first playthrough of the game, I got to experience what I genuinely consider to be one of the greatest games ever made. It was unlike any horror game I'd ever played before. The level of detail and care crafted into the world of Silent Hill, from the characters, music, and even the iconic fog, was unforgettable. Whether you appreciate the look of old-school PS1-style graphics or not, it's undeniable how good the dilapidated streets and twisted halls of Silent Hill look. Something about the low-res textures and polygonal models make this game feel like you're in a dream. It's possible to understand what you're seeing, but nothing is ever crystal clear. Where Silent Hill excels as a game isn't in its combat or even its puzzles, but rather its ability to tell a story and terrify the player. Without getting too deep into the plot, the game follows protagonist Harry Mason on his mission to save his lost daughter from the cult-infested town of Silent Hill. Along his journey, Harry learns about the motives of this cult through exploration of the town and its demonic flip side, the other world. The developers of Silent Hill, Team Silent, used many simple and effective tactics throughout the game in order to scare players as much as possible. While playing, I found that most horror encounters felt natural and authentic. Rather than halting the flow of the game or jarring the player out of their immersion with things like jump scares, Silent Hill takes a much more passive approach to scaring players. The two most effective strategies used to frighten are subtlety and subversion of expectations. There's something so unsettling about realizing small changes. Suddenly gaining awareness of little details with large implications is extremely disturbing. It not only highlights your lack of attentiveness to your surroundings, but also makes you feel paranoid. If you could miss something so obvious, what more sinister things could be waiting just outside of your view? Silent Hill has many great examples of subtle horror. From mysteriously appearing elevator buttons to scattered notes filled with disturbing information, there are a plethora of subtleties that add layers of fear to the game. One of my favorite examples of this can be found in the elementary school section of the game. Notes found in library books contain ominous messages that give subtle detail about the lore of Silent Hill. One message in particular offers a hint on how to defeat an upcoming boss. These pieces of information are meant to guide the player without holding their hand. They create another layer of depth, making the world of Silent Hill feel far more immersive. Subversion of expectations plays an equally important role in Silent Hill's ever-present goal of creating ambient horror. It's no secret that the horror genre has built tropes and predictability in a large amount of its content. This predictability often leads to individuals having general expectations of how certain events or plot points will play out. The soundtrack has become tense, therefore I expect something shocking is about to happen. Silent Hill, however, takes advantage of these expectations we've grown over time and uses them against us as the player. When we expect there to be jump scares, there aren't. Only silence and fear. A man hanging on a wall who never moves, a locker containing a creature turns out to be empty and coated with blood. The act of nothing happening is scarier. It builds paranoia. By not being predictable with its horror, Silent Hill remains in control of the player's emotions throughout the game. One of my favorite examples of this is how the game's soundtrack is utilized. We expect the more tense tracks to be indicative of threatening encounters, but Silent Hill does the opposite. Some areas cleared of enemies will continue to blare mechanical death rattles, as though there still exists a threat. While many of the boss fights have quiet, droning sounds that accompany them. This is such a unique way to use sound in a video game. It's disorienting. I personally see it as a sign of respect for the player. Team Silent didn't feel it necessary to spoon-feed the player audio cues that indicate when to be afraid. They merely allow you to be in the moment and take in the environmental horror in a natural way. Fighting for your life in a nearly silent environment feels far more threatening. When you perish, the silence will still remain. No pomp and circumstance for your failure. No chorus of the damned to chant as you attempt to slay your opponent. Just your own feeble motivations. My first playthrough of Silent Hill is something I enjoy reflecting upon. Having my own preconceived views on horror media at the time, I took a very streamlined approach to completing the game. I wasn't expecting anything more than a linear adventure with a scary yet predictable plot. Oh, how wrong I was. Because of my inattentiveness to my surroundings, I missed considerable portions of the game, leading me to receive the game's bad ending upon completion. I felt more upset with the game than myself. I felt as though I should have been guided by the game at every step of my journey. With such a close-minded view of how horror games could be structured, I hadn't even considered that there could be secret details that required the player to go out of their way to find. As time went on, this resentment for the game turned into further appreciation. Those who care about Silent Hill and the mysteries it holds will be rewarded for their efforts to uncover the truth, while those who are merely focused on accomplishing their goal will reap dissatisfaction. Silent Hill isn't merely another game to me, but rather an eye-opening experience about the diverse nature of game design. Silent Hill is concrete proof that no matter how old the game, good design is timeless.
Harry?
Lisa, what's the matter with you?
I get it now. Why I'm still alive even though everyone else is dead. I'm not the only one who's still walking around. I'm the same as them. I just hadn't noticed it before.
Lisa.
Stay by me, Harry. Please. so scared. Help me. Save me from them. Please. Harry?
So, what does all of this mean? What's the greater message I teased in the opening of this video? Well, you actually already know what it is. It's passion. Team Silent wasn't some grandiose group of ridiculously talented game makers. They were a ragtag group of underdogs working at Konami. They may not have been the most experienced, but they cared about their work. They were passionate about the project assigned to them, and it shows. Silent Hill isn't just another horror game, but rather the marriage of passionate creators and their art. Without Team Silent's passion, the first Silent Hill game wouldn't have been nearly as iconic as it is. Because of passion, every detail of the game feels fleshed out. Silent Hill has a level of depth that truly immerses players into its world even 20 years after its release. Being able to experience a creation that was crafted with love and passion makes all the difference. It was passion that motivated CGI director Takayoshi Sato to take on the mind-bending task of rendering all Silent Hill's FMVs as well as designing its characters. It was passion that would lead music producer and sound designer Akira Yamaoka to create an iconic soundtrack for Silent Hill, as well as continue to produce amazing sound work for the 3 subsequent entries in the franchise. Because of passion for their work, Team Silent would successfully create one of the most notable game series to date. If that doesn't make you feel inspired, I mean, fuck, I don't know what will. My takeaway from all this isn't merely my love for Silent Hill as a game series, but also how important it is to incorporate this kind of passion into my own personal projects. In order to feel fulfilled in what I create, I want others to feel my passion in the final result. I want to be able to capture my ideas in a way that shows just how much love and care went into each and every step of the creative process. It's not about perfection. It's about wanting to make things. Games, movies, books, art, all of it comes from a desire to express and to share. The creations that stand out the most to me are the ones where you can tell the creator was making it for themselves just as much as anyone else. That's what it's all about. Not only being passionate about creating for others, but being passionate about bringing your dreams to life for yourself. Hell, that's why I still make YouTube videos. I don't care about gaining subscribers or notoriety, I just want an outlet to express myself alongside others. That's not to say I don't appreciate the kind words and support of all you wonderful people. I just want to be clear that while I do hope to entertain and perhaps inspire along the way, I do this equally for my own creative fulfillment. I never want making video projects to turn into a chore or an obligation, but rather something I can always put my heart and passion into when the right idea comes along. In conclusion, I hope that all of you can find something that makes you passionate and manage to share that with others. I also recommend playing through the Silent Hill games. I barely even scratched the surface of lore and detail within the first entry, let alone the series. There's truly so much more inspiring passion to be gleaned from Silent Hill. Plus, the fan base is one of the most dedicated I've ever seen. Anyway, that's all from me. I wish you all the best, and remember to stay passionate in all that you do. Now, I've got some business to attend to here in Silent Hill. I guess I'll see you around.